calling you a liar. Because the very reason you are here tonight is because you have an issue and a problem. And when I talk and I say, take care of your people, they're calling me a liar. And say that I'm spreading misleading and false information. So when they call me a liar, they're calling 5,800 ex-colony workers a liar. They're calling the beneficiaries of the 20% of ex-colony workers who died liars. And they're calling thousands of their own people liars. When we tell them, please, please, take care of your people now. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the most vulgar, obscene and disgraceful thing I've ever experienced in my life. When I picked up that voice, and people like Rudranath in nursing who know, they know, Devant Maharaj know, Vasant know, Munilal know, Kamla know, Neela Khan know. I don't know if Ramona know anything, but I would hope that she know too. That ex-colony workers have not been given the lands that are due to them. And when, ladies and gentlemen, a senior cabinet minister that you have placed in power sits in my office, and when I tell him, take care of your people now, give them what is due to them, and his response to me, I wouldn't call his name, his response to me is what them people would do with land. I'm sent into a quandary. Because when he say what them people would do with land, he talking about you. And he talking about thousands of ex-colony workers who voted for them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a travesty. And that was a fact. What them people would do with land. And I have said to you, because of these reasons, and one other reason, I have lived in Cuba now for 16 years. And for 15 of those 16 years, I flooded every year. I lost thousands of dollars in appliances, couch sets and what have you. I wrote a letter at the end of 2010, I think it was, early 2011, to the Member of Parliament for Cuba North, asking for a drain to be cleaned, a drain, so that I wouldn't flood. And up to today, I have not yet received a reply from him. And I wrote that letter as Nirvan Maharaj, attorney at law, legal advisor to the All Trinidad. And I have not been graced with a reply to date. And I said to myself, if I wrote that letter, and I put in those things underneath, and you have not replied to me, what the hell will you do to other people in Cuba North or Cuba South or Wales? How will you treat them? You will treat them like dirt. Because you don't reply to me, well, they don't even dare write you. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a travesty. And because of these issues, the National Solidarity Assembly was born out of the struggle of ex-colony workers. And I said to the government, and I said in the media, that we will put up candidates if we have to in several constituencies in the Sugar Belt for one reason only. If there are 8,000 ex-colony workers in Cuba South, and we put up a candidate and we get 800 votes, we know that the ex-colony workers who have been fighting for the last 2 years are telling us, continue the struggle on our behalf. And if we don't, and we get 100 votes, then I will know it's time to pack up, continue my profession as a lawyer and run the union, and forget this struggle. Because you will be telling me that you prefer Mona Ramdial and Rudranath in nursing to take care of your issues for you. And that was the genesis behind the National Solidarity Assembly. That was the genesis of saying we will put up candidates in different constituencies. Well, I'm telling you here tonight, the government will throw bones to you, but the majority of ex-colony workers will not get what is due to them before the next general election. You may get back some money for your residential lots, and you may get back some money for your sweetener loan. But there's no way in the world they could ever do all the infrastructural development to give you your residential lots, 5,000 and more of you. Because they have taken that money and pumped it into the churches and into Carnival and elsewhere. That is what they have done. And they needed that money to develop your lots for you. There's no way in the world they could do that. And so I have taken a decision. If the issues of the ex-colony workers and the substantive issues of places like Cuba North and Cuba South are not dealt with, then we will have no choice. The National Solidarity Assembly will be putting up candidates in Cuba North and Cuba South and several other constituencies as a matter of principle. And win, lose or draw, somebody have to be brave enough and courageous enough to stand up and tell the government to take care of your people now, or we are willing to challenge you. Somebody have to be brave enough. Somebody have to be brave enough that if you believe you're right or you think you're right, you do what you have to do, say what you have to say, and damn the consequences. Somebody have to be brave enough to say it is better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. And we are not willing to accept scraps and bones before elections. We want all our issues dealt with before elections. Because if you could deal with everybody in the country, it's time for you to deal with your own people. That is what we are saying. And that is what we are demanding. We are asking the Prime Minister and the government, what has happened to the people who have pounded the pavement for you? What has happened to the people who have given the blood and the sweat and the tears for you? What has happened to the people whose backs you stood up to be propelled into power? What has happened to these people? What has happened to the hope and the joy we felt in 2010 when we thought all our issues will be solved? What has happened to that hope and joy in 20? We felt then, when you had 29 seats. We are saying to them what has happened to the issues. And I will tell you why it is so important. Rohan Rope, and I said it in Orange Valley, Rohan Rope was a colony worker and he was 75 years old. And Rohan Rope marched in the rain with us in Port of Spain to deliver a letter to the Prime Minister. And Rohan Rope